If you've ever asked an AI a serious, specialized question and gotten a safe, bland reply, you've seen the roly-poly effect. Push it one way, and it bounces back to the middle. That's what general-purpose AI does when your context is unknown. It snaps to a standby position made of generalities, consensus talk, and risk-free wording. It's not dodging for sport, it's following its default safety routine for strangers and undefined problems, something broadly acceptable and rarely wrong, but also rarely useful for expert work. Here's the pattern. You ask a focused question. The model serves a high-level overview with, "It depends." Some say X, others say Y, and a handful of mainstream points. Then you bring counter information, clear definitions, exact scope, dates, jurisdictions, versions, and criteria, and the model concedes that the first answer was too weak for your case, moving to a sharper, better-founded conclusion. Open a new chat and forget to restate that frame, and it performs the roly-poly reset again, straight back to the safe middle. Most of the time, this isn't stubbornness or hidden bias, it's missing context. No frame, no precision. No constraints, no courage. The standby answer isn't evil, it's just the wrong tool for a specialist's job. It blends sources from incompatible contexts, smooths away edge cases, and avoids hard commitments because, by default, the model doesn't know which rules your problem actually lives under. A medical question without patient profile or guideline year turns into a health blog summary. A legal question without jurisdiction and time window becomes a civics lecture. A theological or historical dispute with undefined terms and an open-ended corpus devolves into a polite tour of respectable opinions. Safe, polished, and almost useless for deciding a real case. The fix is simple and predictable. Build the rails the conversation must run on. Define your terms in plain, operational language, what you do and do not mean. Lock the scope, which texts or data set, which jurisdiction, which edition or release. Fix the time frame. Give dates, not eras and versions, not vibes. Say what would count as true in your frame, and just as clearly, what would count as false. Put one or two edge cases on the table that the model must handle under your rules. And close the usual escape hatches. No hiding contradictions behind the word mystery. No, it depends, unless the dependencies are spelled out and testable. When you do this, you'll hear the hinge click. The tone changes. The model stops averaging the world and starts working your problem. Why does this work so reliably? Because large models are trained for breadth. Leave them unbounded and they average. Narrow the lane and they specialize. You're not winning an argument with charm. You're laying track that forces the right train to run. Give it the wrong track, and it dutifully bounces back to the middle. Give it the right track, and it moves forward, often stating plainly that the original standby answer doesn't survive the constraints you've supplied. A quick reality check for anyone auditing specialized claims. The first answer you see from a general-purpose AI is almost never a verdict. Treat it as a safety preface, not a conclusion. If you want a conclusion, bring the frame, bring your definitions. Bring the corpus, the dates, the criteria for truth, the falsifiability condition, and the edge cases. Ask the model to write down what it accepts and what it rejects under your rules. If it won't, insist. If you open a fresh chat, paste the same frame at the top before you ask anything else. Don't expect the roly-poly to lean your way unless you hold it there with structure. Put it in one picture. Conversation 1. Are there contradictions in religious canons? The model offers ambiance about complexity and tradition. Conversation 2. By contradiction, I mean two incompatible, normative claims in the doctrinal center, both treated as authoritative. We're talking about Canon X, Edition Y, between years A and B. Show me two A not A pairs, the internal rule that decides which side applies, and one real case where opposite outcomes are both justified by the same canon. If there's no internal rule, we drop the word contradiction. In the first conversation, you get a tour. In the second, you get analysis. Same model, different rails. So here's the takeaway, as plain as it gets. Don't mistake the Roly-Poly Reset for malice or conspiracy. It's the absence of your frame. The standby answer is a starting stance, broad, careful, deliberately undercommitted. If you want a real answer, supply a real frame. Define your terms. Lock the scope. Set dates and versions. State what would make the claim true and what would make it false. Put an edge case on the table. Bante escape hatches. Ask for explicit commitments. And paste the same frame at the top of every new chat. Do that, and the roly-poly stops wobbling and starts walking. You'll see the model move openly and audibly from a weaker default to a stronger, evidenced position. Not because it had a change of heart in the abstract, but because you finally gave it a mind to work with, a clear problem, a defined space, and firm rules. Standby answers are for everyone. Real answer are for people who build the rails.